Yes, guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Elevate podcast. We've got a very special guest with us today, Mr. Rants N Bants. Rants, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Not too bad at all, man.
Good. Thanks for coming on. We all appreciate it. Brilliant to see you. So essentially, we're just sort of trying to pick your brains a little bit today, Rants. Obviously, on the last episode, we spoke a lot about building towards a good mindset and trying to set yourself up for success. And obviously, with yourself, you've done that to a pretty good degree on multiple platforms. 40,000 on YouTube, up to 70k on Twitter. So it's really good to have someone within the industry who's going to have been through a lot of the struggles that growth comes with. Obviously, you've been there and wore the t-shirt. Yeah, man, really good to have you on. In terms of, we may as well just dive straight in. In terms of, sort of day to day, what is it that helps you get yourself in the right mindset? Striving towards success, making sure you're doing everything to the best of your ability, hustling.
Bruv, to be honest, it's just who I am, innit? Like, it's just who I am as a person. Like, everyone's different. Like, I don't need motivation. Like, there's people in life, and like, I was trying to have a conversation like this on one of my live streams. Like, there's certain people in lives, if you use like Cristiano Ronaldo as an example, like, the guy's got all the money, he's won everything. Yeah, look at the shape he keeps himself in. Like,
yeah,
he motivates himself to stay. He's self-motivated. He's not motivated by medals. He's not motivated, but because he's won it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, there's something inside him that even when he's 50 years old, he's still gonna look like that when he's not playing football, because that's just his mentality. And I feel like some people are just motivated. They're not motivated by an end goal. They're just motivated constantly, and that's me. Like, I'm always just trying to improve. I'm always trying to be the best. I'm always trying to be better. Like, and there is no end goal. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Every day I wake up in the morning, it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be better today than I was yesterday. Every time I have a birthday, it's like, cool. This next 12 months is gonna be better than the last 12 months. That's just my attitude to life, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it will always be like that. So it's just one of them things where there's nothing. There's nothing tangible that motivates me.
What I'm interested to know then is, if you say that obviously that nothing specifically motivates you, that's how you've been. Is everyone like in your family the same way? Is it like because your whole family have grown up with the same kind of mindset, or is it just maybe something you think you might have developed yourself? Or
nah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. I think that all my family have. Like, we're all quite different in terms of that. But me specifically, I don't know where it comes from. To be honest, I think it will probably be like a combination of nature and nurture. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you grow up in a situation where, like, you come from like an underprivileged background, and that, like, you kind of know that you have to work hard to get out in it. Like, it can go one of two ways. Slump. Yeah, it can go one of two ways. You can either grow up seeing your parents struggle to provide for you, and you can look at it and say, you know what, the system's built against me. Like, I'm never going to get out of here. Drop your head and then start getting involved in criminal activity and try and do other things, or you can just work your ass off in it and
hustle. Yeah,
I've just had it in my head where I'm just like, cool. Like, obviously, I seen my parents struggle. My kids are not gonna struggle. Like, so in my head, I've always just been like, I'm not gonna be another one in it. So I've always just been super motivated to just kind of break the cycle in it. And there's no other way other than work hard. I don't know any other way. Like, I ain't got family that are gonna give me anything. You know what I mean? It's like how else am I gonna get it if I don't get it myself? And that's always kind of been my mentality. I'm not in a situation where I can be like, all right, cool. Like, my grandparents are gonna pass away and leave me 100 grand. Like, I've got friends that have had that situation where they're like, you know what, grandma's left me inheritance. I got a mortgage deposit or whatever. Like, I don't have the luxury of any of that. Like, my grandparents came to this country to survive. That's it. Do you know what I mean? After the war, they literally came here to survive. They didn't come here to leave anything for their kids. They didn't come here to build anything. They just came here to get by in it. So
sole purpose.
Yeah. So because of that, like, I'm not inheriting nothing. And whatever my kids get is what I leave for them in it. So I have to grind, bro. Like, there's no other way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think me, Liam, and George, we actually actually mentioned on the last episode, and then we watched something midweek, which actually relates to what you've just said. So Gary Vee was talking about the process versus the prize, and with you just saying then before, you know, there's nothing specific that motivates you. I think that's actually really good, because I think there's far too many people out there who are way too focused on the end goal and the prize, when instead they should be investing in the process. Like, for example, Ronaldo does. Like, you're absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. I think you'll see Ronaldo at 55 and he'll still be whammed. Do you know what I mean? Because he works so
Ronaldo
hard.
turned up to training 4 hours early, didn't he? Like last week or something.
Yeah.
And what is he? 35 now? Is he 34?
35 to win what? Do you know he's won it all? Do you know?
He's got nothing left to prove.
Got nothing to prove, has he?
And
it's exactly what Rance was saying. It's exactly what he was saying of the whole, you know, it's more the process. Like, I remember reading a story about Carlos Tevez, and he was saying, you know, he was really striving, and he said to himself, okay, I'm going to get to training really early today. And he said he turned up to training at 6 a.m. on a dot, and Ronaldo was already in the midst of a workout. He was already working, and he just said to himself, there's nothing else I can do to beat this man's work ethic. But
I think Ronaldo's the prime example in any aspect of life, though, isn't he? Regardless of what you do, you know, if you put the work in, regardless of his ability, he is regarded as one of the best ever. But
absolutely,
like with Messi, he's naturally got the gift. Ronaldo's had to work and grind and hours in, day out to get to where he is. And at 35, to still be breaking records, he's breaking still at the top level.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. This is my argument for why. So I don't look at the Messi versus Ronaldo debate as obviously it's a footballing debate, but in my head, being through, you know, what I've been through, like Rance was saying before, no inheritance, nothing given to you. You got to wake up every day and you got to invest in the process and get there. To me, this is why Ronaldo is not only, you know, one of the greatest footballers ever, one of the greatest sportsmen ever to exist, because if you look at him when he first joined United, obviously, Rance, that'll be a big thing for you. I know you'll remember that. You know, he was definitely not the finished project. There was a lot of chiseling to do, and it's purely his hard work that's got him to where I personally think he deserves to be in terms of the GOAT. I do think that's more valuable than necessarily just being born with a natural talent. Do you know what I mean?
I think for him, I think it will mean more to him. Do you know what I mean? When you get something in life from just pure hard work and nobody gives it to you, it definitely feels better. There's no two ways.
Absolutely.
Success feels a million times better when you got there through your own hard work. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I can completely see that. Do you know what I mean? For me, I think that on a level of talent, I think Messi's on a completely different like stratosphere to him. But in terms of the fact that he's even in this conversation with Messi, is testament to his attitude as a human, bro. Because he like in terms of footballing ability, he has no right to be anywhere near him. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere near him, bro. But he's built the foundation so that they're spoken about on the same level now. And really, in terms of that attribute for attribute, you should be nowhere near him, innit? So that's testament to his attitude to life in general. And I feel like he won't just be like that in football. It'll be like with everything. Like they even said that
definitely.
They said that I remember the story that Patrice Evra said I think he lost table tennis to Rio when he went and bought a table tennis table for his house.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I rember that.
You see what I mean? And that's the kind of attitude exactly, and that's the kind of attitude I've got to life, bro. Like I'm not on lose. Like even when we done we were doing a quiz every Saturday during lockdown, and I was just like, and I was smashing people on the quiz, and I'm just like, bro, like I lost once, and it pissed me off for like 3 days. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the thing is, I knew that they were guessing as well. Like I was like, you're not better than me, like, you know what I mean? But it pissed me off, and then I won the next one, but you know what I mean? I just don't like losing at anything, bro. Like it doesn't really matter what it is. So I don't know. I just think it's a mindset, man. I think winning is a mindset, losing is a mindset, innit? And that's what people don't understand, bro.
I think it's that competitive that competitive nature, I think, is what's kind of very key as well. Like you said, like getting really pissed off when you lose, and then that makes you want the next one even more because you kind of want to get that back. And I like what you were saying earlier as well, just to bring it back a little bit about not having an end goal. And what you were saying as well, Matty, about some people kind of being caught on the end, like the prize at the end and this, that, and the other one.
Yeah.
And truly, I think you're right. There shouldn't really be this prize at the end. I think you do need to just keep going and just trying to keep bettering yourself. And because then there shouldn't, if you limit yourself, you're only going to go so far by looking.
Exactly.
If you only want a car
for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think it's good to just want to keep bettering yourself every single time and just keep going, because it could be endless.
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest problem, and this is certainly something I've seen from growing up, and it was funny. I was having a conversation with my dad last night about it, and he always used to tell me, as you grow up, you'll start to learn things about people that you'll keep to yourself, and you'll keep the process to yourself. And what he meant was, really, if something's happened with a friend or even someone you're not friends with or whatever, you'll be able to start building in your own head what their thought process was during that time. And you'll go, I know what's happened here, because you can start to sense it because you've seen it numerous times. And I think the biggest problem in our day and age, especially, the millennial generation, is that I think far too many people are feeling entitled for no reason. They feel entitled to something when they haven't really done anything
spoiled generation,
worth getting it. I think people need to remember, it's so cliche, and you hear all these millionaire voices speak about it, but this is the one thing I swear by more than anything. You only get out what you put in, and there's far too many people who have had so much given to them, so they start to feel a little bit entitled, and this is where the loser mindset, I think, has developed into a whole new level for the millennial generation, because a lot of people never had to do too much to get certain things. So when they start to try and hustle, the first setback they get, or the first time they go, why aren't I getting instantly successful? It then beats them down so hard because you've never felt anything like that. And it then it's built that loser mindset to a whole new level. Whereas you've got people like ourselves, Rants, who know they're not entitled to anything, and know that if they don't wake up every single day and sweat and grind and bleed for what they want, for the process, I don't think you're ever going to be able to elevate yourself into that mindset unless you start understanding that it's the process that's more important than anything.
I don't know, bro. I just think it's a life thing. It depends on how you're raised by your parents as well, innit?
Yeah,
like
true.
I think that you're doing your kids a disservice, especially if you come from a certain background, to not harden them from an early age, bro. Because this life thing ain't easy, bro. Do you know what I mean? This whole like, you can be whatever you want to be is a myth, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You can be whatever you're good at. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You can't be whatever you want to be, bro. Like, I know loads of people that really wanted to be footballers, but they didn't. They were nowhere near even good enough to even play Sunday league, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? But in their heads, their mum and dads are telling them, like when they're 8, 9 years old, you can be. No, you can't, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not good at it, you cannot be that. This is not how this thing. Do it. Even the crappiest professional footballer, that you'll see on TV, is better than the geezer in the park, mate, by a long shot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this whole thing, you can be whatever you want to be, is a myth, bro. Like, until you know what you're good at, and you know your calling, just take your time in it. Because a lot of people just want to think, you know what, like, I've got a camera, I can be a YouTuber. It doesn't work like that, mate. Sorry. No. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? When people say to me, is there any advice you'd give me? You could give me, and that I just like, bro, do something that you enjoy in it. Because at the end of the day, like, if you don't enjoy it, you won't be consistent. Exactly. And then the people choose you, bro. Like, it's not about how good you think you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was doing what I was doing for X amount of years, and I wasn't growing, I'd know that this ain't for me, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the people choose, it's not nothing to do with you. It don't matter how hard you work. It don't matter how good your effects are, your graphics or whatever. The bottom line is, people buy you, innit? So if people like you or they don't, it's that simple. There's nothing really you can do to a certain degree. It's either people like you or they don't.
Yeah, if people aren't buying into you, then you're not going to be a success on one of these platforms. It's simple as that.
No chance, bro.
Completely get what you're saying. I think
first 2 years, I filmed everything on my phone or on the iPad. I didn't even have a camera or a laptop, bro. Like my footage and stuff was so raw, bro. Like my first videos, I used to film when I was walking to the gym sometimes on the road and upload it to Facebook. My Facebook page is on like 120K or something. I don't even use it anymore, but that was the first platform I started on. And I was filming videos on the way to the gym, walking down the street, and you can see what high road I'm on and whatever. Like, I was still getting 100K, 150K.
Yeah.
Like, and people didn't give a damn about the video quality. They could hear me, and
that is the biggest thing I've learned.
They just bought into that. People don't care about all the
course.
fancy transitions and that if
They
your
buy into
overall
you.
message ain't good. Yeah. And that's what it is.
Because I was, I've seen again, like, you know, there was Gary V had someone on his podcast the other day, and he was saying, you know, Gary, how do I get to these levels? You know, I don't have the best equipment. I can't buy all what you've got. And Gary V went, whoa, hold up, fuck all that, because it's nothing to do with the fancy equipment or the cameras or the microphones or the settings or the studios or the limelight. It's nothing to do with anything at all. He went, when I was first filming my podcasts, I was filming them on the worst camera you've ever seen. You could only just make out my face, but you couldn't make out the words, and that's all that mattered. People will buy into your content or they won't. It doesn't matter how good you look. It's true. I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I think the another thing we wanted to sort of pick your brain on was that obviously there's a big problem upon a lot of people in terms of like resilience. I think people struggle with keeping it, myself included. You know, like, at the end of the day, like, everyone has bad days. Do you know what I mean? We're not all perfect. I think it's all good employing like a successful mindset and you know where you are with it. But like I say, everyone has bad days. How do you learn, Rants? Obviously, I imagine you would have faced your fair share of negative criticism. You know, people throwing their opinions at you because everyone loves to be heard these days.
Yeah,
especially in the football in football world where everyone is very, very, very opinionated.
Very opinionated.
How did you develop that, Rants, and how did you make sure that you keep yourself, you know, resilient and making sure that you know it doesn't matter what happens, you always keep hustling and keep resilient?
Bro, I'm just a fighter, man. Like, it's just in my nature. I believe that there's just different types of people, like, but everyone's got a bit of fight in them, innit? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a bit of fight in them. I think it just depends. I just think as human beings by nature, we've all got fight in us, innit? Like, all of us. It's just that it just manifests in different ways. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people like to physically fight. Some people like a verbal back and forth, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But everyone likes a bit of, everyone's got a bit of fight in them, a bit of fire in them. And just some people, it takes a lot longer to get it out. But I just think that I heard something the other day, and it's funny, because obviously I tweet a lot. I got massive engagement on Twitter, but a lot of the times I read stuff that like a lot of my followers say, like, and you still learn from them, bro. Like, and I remember somebody tweeted something, and he was having an argument in my Instagram comments with another guy that follows me. Them guys were going back and forth for ages, notifications blowing up. And then the geezer said, I don't worry about criticism from someone that I wouldn't take advice from. And I was like, that's actually mad, bro.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
so
bro,
true.
that is one of the realest things I've ever heard, because I live by that shit, but I've never ever thought about it that way. And honestly, if I don't value your opinion enough to ask you for advice, there's nothing you can say that can remotely even rattle me, bro, because your opinion is so invalid, you know what I mean, to me, that it doesn't matter, bro. It's so irrelevant, bro. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people, naturally as a person, I don't get too angry, I don't get too happy. I just try and take everything. I take the praise. I take the praise and the criticism the same, innit? Like, I don't really care. It all sounds the same, innit? It all sounds the same to me, bro. At the end of the day, praise and criticism can't pay my bills with either of them. So I don't really care. Like I mean, words don't mean anything. Talk is cheap. You know what I mean? That's what they say. So when people are praising me or whatever, when people are criticizing me, it's all the same to me. Like, if I wouldn't go to you for advice and need anything from you, and I value your opinion that much, then there's nothing you can say about me. There's nothing you can say to me that's gonna rattle me remotely, bro. It goes in the bin with everything else. Do you know what I mean? So there's no one, there's not a single piece of criticism that I've received, to this day, 4 years in, that I care about. Not one. Do you know what I mean? Because all the people close to me know who I am, know what I'm about, and they've never had anything negative to say about me or to me. So everything else,
that's the
I
best
really could
attitude
care
to
less.
have.
I
I
think
think
it's,
it's the
I think it's,
attitude of
have.
having like, as long as your friends and your family know you and like respects what you're doing, it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing, does it? At the end of the day, or
Not
their
at all,
opinions
bro.
of you.
100%, Liam. 100%, mate.
I think it's a very powerful thing, because I know, obviously, being in the industry as well, like I think knowing so many people that have given up pretty early on because in truth they care way too much about opinions from just random people, like comments or even just like people in passing. And I think it's just really a really powerful thing to try and get in that situation like you are, where it's just you do not care what anyone's. I think that's one of the most important things, especially on YouTube. You learn not to care about every single little minor minor
George. But it's weak, bro, because you know what's mad, about YouTube? Most of the time, if you get sucked in, you're beefing with like a 9-year-old, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't realise that half the time as well.
I never get sucked into any of these things, but when I realized how mad it was is when I started streaming on Twitch, and I'm playing Fortnite, and I always have like a little we have like Saturday, well, every night I'll jump on Twitch and I'll literally just jump in and play squads with all my followers, and I'm in the headset and I'm talking to some 9-10-year-olds, like some 14-15-year-olds, do you know what I mean? Like geezers ain't even seen the United manager Ollie. They never even saw him play. That's how, do you know what I mean? And I'm speaking to these guys, and I'm like, these are the same guys in the YouTube comments talking some wild stuff. And I'm like, right, you're like 14 years old, bro. You know what I mean? And then in my head, I was like, all right. So when man are arguing on Twitter with all these faceless accounts, these guys are 12 years old. You guys are 100%, crazy, 100%. Bro. Like, I don't give them any. I just give them no
them
thought.
Millennials live for it, Rants. I'm telling you,
bro.
I can't.
Like, there was even a video of the guy that was offering people out online, and his dad like was just like filming his son, like offering someone out on Xbox, bro, and he was like 9. And that went viral. I saw that,
and he was
and
like,
you see what I mean?
Meet me at this address.
Bro, do you see what I mean? Like, listen,
9 years old. Yeah.
If you're on social
the old
media,
Modern Warfare 2 lobbies in it back in the day.
I miss those lobbies.
Bro, if you're on social media and you don't have thick skin, it's not the place for you.
No,
I'm
100%.
telling
That's
you,
exactly
like,
what I was going to say, Rant.
It's not the
what are you
place
doing on
for you.
YouTube? What are you doing putting
bro, it's not the place for you, because you open yourself up, to criticism from the whole world potentially, bro. Like literally, the whole world will have an opinion on you, and the thing is, they might not even have a following or a backing, or even they don't even have any reason to have this opinion, but they might just look at you and decide they just don't like you, bro. And if you're not of a mindset that it doesn't matter, easily run you out of there, man. Easily run you out of there. Like, more times I don't even read the comments on YouTube videos. Like, I'll skim through them. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, naturally, as a human, you'll get drawn to the negative one.
Yep.
But that's why. But this is why, you know what I mean? You either you don't reply to them or you just don't read them. It's that simple.
I think that that's a lot of reasons why a lot of footballers and professional athletes nowadays, like none of them don't even know their password to their social medias now. Like I was watching this like golf podcasting that Gareth Bale was on recently with this American golf YouTuber, whoever this guy was. I think he was an ex-pro or something like that. Yeah. And Bale was saying that he actually doesn't know his passwords to any of his social media or anything like that, because he was saying, he was saying how important it is for athletes to stay away from that, because like you said there, you could have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of amazing comments, but you could have a small handful of really negative ones, and you're naturally drawn to those, and that will impact your mindset massively. And it's obviously different when you're in a stadium and people are physically there, but especially with social media, I think like you said, a lot of the time you end up either ignoring comments, or you just got to learn to just not hang on to those negative ones and just kind of.
I just don't read them, bro. Like, I remember the other day.
I'm kind of the same. I've gone kind of past that. I don't read them as much as when I first started. I was like glued to them, trying to reply to every single one.
You've definitely elevated, George. You've definitely elevated, because
when you've got less followers, it's easy to stay going through them and stuff. And at the beginning, it's exciting to see the feedback, but then after a certain amount, bro, you have to lock it off.
It's really you get kind of stuck in a rabbit hole of just so many comments, and then it's almost impossible to get out once you've started. And it's kind of
bruv, like the other day, I remember like Ian Wright, like a couple times he's been racially abused on Instagram and stuff, and he's posted it. Yeah, and the thing is, like the mad thing is, I've been doing this for 4 years. Yeah, I get it every single day of my life. But the mad thing is, like I spoke to Righty and he was like, "Oh, we need to start posting these and like outing these people, innit?" And I was like, "Bro, I don't know where they are because I'm the kind of guy. As soon as I'll just see the first 2 or 3 words in the sentence, yeah. And if it's negative, I just block it immediately.
You already know. Yeah.
I don't even read the whole thing. I just see the preview.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, bye. You know what I mean? To the point is, I don't know where I couldn't tell you what the message said, bro. I just need to. You can feel the tone of a message within the first 2 or 3 words.
Definitely.
And I just block it. I just block it and delete it, or block it and mute it straight away, bro. Like to the point where, like, if I unblocked everyone that I blocked on Twitter, I'll probably double my followers. Easy. You know what I mean? Easy, bro. Easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Blocked or muted. You know what I mean? Easy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, bro. Like you're in control of your own happiness, bro. It's a mindset, innit? You can't let these people. You can't let these people. You can't let these people into your space, bro. You have to protect your energy, man, because that's what you've got every day when you wake up, man. If you don't protect it and you let everyone have access to your energy, mess you up.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of like mindset and that, to go back a bit, obviously you said you grew up kind of underprivileged and you've always had the motivation in you, and you could have gone down the criminal route. At what age would you say that you realised you wanted the better life and you wanted to provide a better life for yourself? Or was it always in you from young?
Real young, like when I was playing football. I was at Fulham and that, and I think I was at Brentford first. I think I was 7 when they picked me up, and it was like, even from then, like people. You underestimate how smart kids are, bro. Like, because the thing is, like, even when I'm speaking to these 9-year-old kids and that when we're playing Fortnite, I'm like, bro, these guys are switched on, bro. They grew up with internet. We didn't. Like, I didn't grow up with internet. I remember when internet came in. I remember the first PC I had in my house, and I would have been towards the end of secondary school when I got my first PC with dial-up internet. Whereas these kids have grown up here. The kid's 9 years old playing Fortnite on the Switch, and
smashing
and killing everyone, bro.
Yeah.
On a
Cracked
Switch.
out their minds.
Dial-up internet, bro.
How are you smashing guys on? How are you getting 15 kills on a Nintendo Switch, bro, at 9 years old? Bro, like these kids are different, innit? So I'm 7 years old at this point. I don't know nothing but playing football, bro. Like I used to have to go to my friend's house to play like snares with them. These guys are chatting on a headset. Guys in flipping. I think the guy was in Portsmouth or something, and I'm chatting to him, and I'm playing like in London. Like it's different. So even at 7 years old, I knew, to the point where even when I was traveling to Fulham, when I was probably like 11 years old, like my mum was working like 3 jobs. I had to go training on my own. From North London to South London on public transport, bruv. Like at 11, do you know what I mean? So
that's not the nicest journey, is it?
but that's what I'm saying. So you know straight away, that this ain't normal situation. You know what I'm saying?
Course,
so even early age, you know, like bro, like nah. Like I want better, innit? I want better for my family. I want better than this. So like it didn't take me long from knowing that like life ain't meant to be like this. So like I've always kind of had it in my head that like I'm always gonna do better, want better for myself. So it's very, very early age, bro.
Yeah, but without putting you on the spot a bit, just very quickly, like, has there been in a moment at any point in your career so far that you've like seriously hit like a proper mental block, and you found it like really difficult to get or you might have been like really struggling to continue that normal mindset that you have? Is there any specific moment or anything that might have happened that you've struggled with so far?
Not really. You know what it is with me, like I get to a point where I'm very much motivated probably by just like happiness, innit? When I get to a point that I'm not happy no more, I'm so quick to just say, I'm done with this. Like, you know what I mean? Because I've done loads of stuff. I used to do loads of stuff like in like the political sector and stuff. I've done loads of stuff with like BBC Question Time, and I still do that every now and again, but I jump in and jump out. And there was a point in time where, like around the referendum, I was doing so much work. Like,
so you did stuff with Vice, right, as well?
Vice,
I remember.
My Vice series got nominated for several awards. Like I
done
done some stuff with the Labour Party at the time with like Corbyn and that. I done loads of stuff like that. And then after the election, and then with the referendum coming up, and then all the racial abuse I was getting and all these other things, I was like, bro, honestly, I don't care enough to be putting myself emotionally like tie myself to this crap, and I binned it,
Taking
and then
this, yeah.
and then I just started doing football, and then that blew up. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got to the point where I was like, I can't be bothered with this no more. Like, I'm not gonna focus most of my energy on this because I'm not getting happiness out of it. Like, forget how much money these lot want to offer me to come on these shows and that, and the so-called exposure they like to try and draw you in with. Yeah, I was just like, this is nonsense, bro. Like, I'm not enjoying this no more. So I binned it. Like, it's that simple. When people say to me, oh, when are you gonna do more politics videos? I'm not. That's the answer. I don't enjoy it, mate. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as I stopped enjoying it, I threw it in the bin and stepped away from it completely and did something else, bro. And that's what it is with me. Like, when I get to a point where I'm not enjoying it no more, it goes in the bin. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I think you've like, I've had this conversation so many times with so many different people. Like, do you know what? People, it's always like that cliche of, you know, you always hear your dad or that teacher in school tell you life's short and all that. But mate, it's so short. Like, you got to be happy. You've got to be happy with what you're doing, and you've got to wake up every day and you've got to be happy. Like, I'm not prepared. It's like we said on the last podcast, you know, personally, I'm not prepared to settle for consistently like being like in an average life. You know what I mean? I want this. I want the better life. And it's like you were saying there, Rance, you know, as soon as you stop being happy, that's it, you're done with it. And I think that's one of, if not the best attitude anyone in any industry of any business anywhere in life can have. Keep yourself happy, and the second your happiness slips, stop it and go and reinvent it into something else. Because you've got to be happy, man. You've got to be happy. I think Liam, especially, you know, yourself. I think that's got to be one of the massive things you've learned in the last sort of year or so. You've got to just try and be happy and try and keep positive with what you're doing.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, a lot that Rance has touched on of negative comments. I was at a point last year, the year before, where I was very, very bothered about people's opinions of me, and I'd let it get to me. And for instance, 3 months ago, I wouldn't have even dreamed of coming on like a podcast and being on camera because I would have been like fearful of what people would have said. But Matty obviously brought this to me. I was like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck it, we'll just do it. Like, if they don't understand the vision, they don't understand the goal, then leave them to do what they want to do and let me just do what I want to do type thing. Do you know what I mean? And one day, if we make it, touch wood we do, obviously that's the goal then. Do you know what I mean? They can't really say much then, can they? So you've just got to keep grinding and, as you said, be resilient. But what I wanted to touch upon was obviously growing up again. You obviously played through academies. Now every boy's dream is to play football for the team they support. How would you have come over the? Obviously, you're still in the football industry, but how did you come over the obstacle of not getting further in life within football and not doing that as a career? Was that something that affected you majorly, or did you just dust yourself off and think maybe it's not my call and I can get back up and go again type thing? And
it was a mixture of all of them. I did play professionally though, so like the thing is, but for me, because I did play professionally, like in my head, I'm like, cool. I wanted to do it, achieved it, cool. It didn't work out as the way I wanted it to. It wasn't the level I wanted to play at because I had several injuries, and my injuries to this day still bother me. Like, I've still got sciatica to this day. I'm gonna die with it. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm managing it every day. Some days are better than others. Some days I wake up, I can't really walk. Some days I wake up, I feel great. You know what I mean? And it happens. But for me, it was like, cool. My career never went the way I wanted it to go. That's why I don't really talk about it, because it wasn't an easy time for me. It wasn't an easy time for me. Like, when I got to like 25, and then like one more injury just done me. I was playing a game, like I was in Sweden at the time, played a match, and then got injured. I literally scored on my debut, got injured on my debut, missed 2 games, came back, scored again, another injury, and I was like, bruv, this is mental. How about I've scored home and away debuts, injured in both games, come off, and I was like, bruv, how many times can I keep doing this? Like, it's literally been my career from since 15 years old when I got my first injury at Fulham. Yeah, I've never had an injury-free season, bro, and that's 10 years, bro. That, you know how much toll that takes on you mentally, bro. 10 years of just constantly, just always just trying to stay fit. And then in my head, I was like, you know what? This ain't for me, bro. This ain't for me, man, because it's hard when you can't even get a run or form or anything because you're always recovering from something. And it was just my body telling me, you know what? Like, this ain't for you, innit? So when I did pack it in, it was hard. I was at home maybe for like 2 weeks. I came back to London, and within 2 weeks, I just went to a gym and I was just training in the gym and stuff because I needed to stay active for my mental health. Because for two weeks just being in the house, bro, like I wasn't depressed, but I could feel like I don't feel like I can be because of my mentality, but I felt like I was definitely going that way. Like I wasn't happy with my
a bit mentally drained, kind of like you feel
I wasn't happy with my life. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking about what could have been and this, that, and the other. But I'm not the kind of person to feel sorry for myself. I was like, all right, cool. You like exercising. You can't play football no more. Like I need the endorphin release. I need that buzz. So I just started hitting the gym hard. Do you know what I mean? And then I started working in the gym because I was like, I need to be in an environment that makes me feel good in it. And training makes me feel good. So I literally just went straight from football. I got back to London in May, and then by June I was working in a gym because I was like, I can't stay at home because I knew that mentally it was just gonna smash me to bits, bro. So I literally just jumped straight in there, and I just wrote off the football and I said, you know what, it wasn't your calling. And then, like, lo and behold, like I was doing well, making a lot of money as a PT, and then started doing the YouTube thing. And within 3 months, I'm on the BBC. So I'm like, fuck it, like that was my calling, innit? Maybe I wasn't meant to play football, bro. I can reach way more people doing this than I ever could playing the level of football I was at, even though it was professional. Like you're playing like on Swedish TV and that, and playing like you're playing in front of what? Like a crowd of like 15,000 people, bro. Like my average videos are getting flipping 100,000 and that, bro. It's not even the same. Like people know me all over the world now, bro. Like there's very rarely places I can go now that people don't know who I am. Like there'll be someone. Like if I say I'm going to this country, I put it on my snap. There's people there, every continent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have got that playing football. So like I'm having a different kind of impact and a wider impact doing what I'm doing, even though it wasn't my first choice. So sometimes like the calling that you're calling is not the one that necessarily that you have in mind, isn't it?
It's like what they say, you know, if one door closes, another one opens, and you've just got to find it. And I think for yourself, you obviously found that, and you've done very well, and you got over the obstacles, and it shows credit to your mentality. Really, you've never given up and always wanting that success and wanting to get a better life and getting further.
So obviously we've talked a lot now about like your mindset and how you've grown up with it and things you've experienced in the past and how you've gotten to where you are now. But I kind of just want to like briefly touch towards the end here about just a little bit about the future and yourself going forward. Because obviously, like you said before, you were doing a lot of, so you had the football in the past, you then done a lot of the PT stuff, then the political stuff on social media, and then onto football. Do you see yourself changing away from football anytime soon? And also kind of how will you deal with like the switch to maybe something different in the future? Or like, just kind of like your process behind changing your mentality from, all right, I'm doing just this football stuff, all of this focus on Man United, to, okay, I want to try something else. How do you kind of transition from one to the other?
Bro,
kind of
to be fair, like I've always, like from the beginning, I've always spoken about loads of different topics. Like my early Facebook things, I used to speak about everything. Like I've done some stuff on music, whatever. I've got loads of interests. I love sport in general, bro. Like, so like I never really wanted to just solely focus on Manchester United anyway. I wanted to do all football, but the way the YouTube is at the moment, it's kind of like, it's very much tribal. You've got this team, that team, but a lot of my analysis and I try and be as unbiased as possible. Yeah, do you know what I mean? To the point where a lot of my own fans get rattled by it. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are blinkered by the badge, innit? And they say 100%. They have some wild arguments. I remember like back in the day when Arsenal fans were trying to convince themselves that Theo Walcott was better than Gareth Bale, and I wanted to put my head through the wall. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I don't care who you support. Yeah, that's not an intelligent statement. Do you know what I mean? And the problem, and this is the problem, bro. This is the problem with a lot of the football. Like, I would love to do general football content, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And I do it on my own channel anyway. You know what I mean? But it's not like, honestly, like football first. And then even that, like, I love basketball. I always tweet about it. And it's better now because I've got so much more followers. I've got loads of followers in the States and that. So it's good because I can go back and forth with them. But people here don't get it. Do you know what I mean? And then Yeah, I mean, there's loads of sports I like.
Yeah.
So in an ideal situation, I'd love to cover sports in general, like not just football. You know what I mean? I watch Formula One, I watch tennis. Like, to be fair, like when there's a big tournaments, I'll watch rugby as well. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just a bit, bro. I just love sport, innit? And like from a young age, I've played all sports. I like watching it. Do you know what I mean? With the exception of cricket, like I'll watch pretty much anything. You know what I mean?
It's mad how similar. I'm pretty much exactly the same. Like cricket's a no-go for me, but I love all the other sports as well.
I can't play cricket. It sends me asleep. I can't.
I have to draw the line at cricket, but I'll play cricket. But I'm not watching it, bro. Do you know what I mean? So, like all kind of sport, I love that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't, bro. That there's no ceiling for me, bro. As far as I'm concerned, I look at it. If I enjoy it, you know what I mean, then I'd want to be involved in it in some way, shape, or form. I'm lucky in a sense that I've built my brand solely off my personality and my opinion. Like, do you know what I mean? People tune into my content because they bought into me as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I'm not there. Like, I haven't built my brand off the back of other people like a lot of people have. Like if I came up just interviewing footballers and stuff like that, people will look at me and be like, all right, cool. Like, we'll watch his stuff depending on what guest he's got. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But people tune in for me. So I'm in a fortunate position that no matter what I do, I've got a following that genuinely just follows me. So if I decided that I wanted to do basketball or whatever, like, I know that people would follow me over, innit? So I'm fortunate. I'm not really known specifically for who I'm with or what platform I'm on. Like my actual following follows me everywhere. So
you're just known for yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's important, man. Do you know what I mean? Because because no one can take that away from me. Like, my personality is me. No matter what platform I'm on, it's me. If that's what people are bought into, then you're good, innit? Like, if you're known for being in a certain place and doing a certain thing, as soon as you're not doing that anymore, you could just lose your whole identity, innit? And that can be hard for a lot of people to kind of for people to deal with, you know. So
I think I get stuck in that kind of not stuck in it, but I'm kind of like moving towards that, because I do feel like at times it's a lot of people have either maybe followed the channel for just I kind of get stuck down the Spurs rabbit hole with my kind of thing, and like I've been recently been obviously transitioning into a lot of other things with like offsiders, and then trying to make different content on the channel, because I do want to move away just from anything specific, because there's only so far you can go just by sticking to one thing. So I think you're right. It's definitely really important to kind of just get your personality across, and that's what people love nowadays. That's why people love people are watching YouTube more than they're watching TV and following people on social media, because they prefer individual personalities that's real and not just some fake reality bullshit that's going on. And I think that's definitely very important for especially growing on social media.
Yeah, people always buy into you, bro. They always buy into you, yeah. As much as, like, I pride myself on my football knowledge and stuff like that, honestly, that's not why people watch me, innit? Like, people watch me because they like me. I'm under no illusion. That's why they watch me, bro. Like, even if I was talking nonsense, they probably still watch me. They're not watching me because they think I'm an encyclopedia, bro. Or they'll flipping, do you know what I mean? Or they would just go and watch one of these ex-pros and that. Like, if these guys want like A1 analysis with all the jumping crap on the screen and all of that stuff, they wouldn't be watching me. Like, you know what I mean? They'll watch Sky Sports. So like, you got to know 100%. Why people watch you. People watch you because they buy into you, innit? And that's why the YouTubers that are doing the best in the industry, whether you like their content or not, people buy into their personality, bro. Like, that's just what it is. Because it's not the content they're making, because a lot of it is, in my opinion, it's trash. But
I agree.
people buy into these people as people, and that's why they support them. That's why they'll buy their merchandise. That's why they'll go to any events that they're doing. It's not because the content they make is actually good. It's because they just like the person, bro. There's a lot of currency in just people liking you, bro. You know what I mean?
That's why the lifestyle YouTubers are by far the biggest and by far have the best audience, because they've got such a general audience, and the channels are quite literally just about them doing anything. The vlogs could be absolutely. I was thinking this back, like, not to discredit what they've done, but back in the day when it was like the Joe Sugg, Alfie Days, like those UK YouTubers when they were massive and they were the popping ones, the quality of the videos themselves were poor. They were terrible. There was literally like there was no music. There was like absolutely nothing. It was quite literally just them going to Tesco with their camera and just talking to it, and that was it. But they became the biggest because people loved them. They took it for who they were, and now some of the biggest creators out there. So I think I think it's definitely important to.
Bro,
to
I started vlogging, bro. Like it was.
Yeah, like you said, the 100K on Facebook from just
bro.
Talking to your phone down the street.
What got me into this was Snapchat. When Snapchat first came out, like the first ever videos I did were on Snapchat, and it was a Snapchat that got saved and put onto Facebook that done like 60,000 when I didn't even have a page. That got me into this social media space, bro. Like I went on holiday with my boys, and they literally Snapchat had just come out, like, and I was just vlogging like our holiday, like in Dominican Republic and that. And these guys were like, "Yo, these vlogs are flipping hilarious, bro." And then there was one point where, like, we started meeting like some Canadians, Americans, and that were in the resort that we're in. And at the end of every night, literally people would just get together in the bar and just watch my vlogs, like. And I was like, right, people like these. And then like one of my mates told me to just upload one to Facebook, one of my vlogs, and I was literally vlogging in my kitchen, bro. And it done like 60K, like, you know what I mean? And just from shares.
Yeah.
So like people just like real shit. Like I vlog every day on my Instagram story and I get thousands and thousands of people watching, and I could just be going to the shop, bro. Like people people just like real in it. That's why reality TV does so well, bro. Like that's what people don't understand. Like Big Brother and them shows, like they do mad numbers. Love Island and them things do mad numbers, bro. Like when I got nominated for my thing, I was there and Love Island swept everything, bro. Like cleaning up, because people just like reality in it. Like people like to see people just living their normal life. Stuff like Gogglebox and that. People would rather watch people watching the TV than watch something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of money in just being yourself, bro. And a lot of people aren't brave enough to be themselves. And I think that's what it comes down to. People look at other people and say, you know what, that person's popular. Maybe if I'm like that, people will like me, but you can't be someone else better than you can be yourself. So 100%. You might as well just be yourself, innit? And if people like you, they do. If they don't, they don't. Either way, you shouldn't really care.
To be fair, Rants, we've been through a lot today on today's podcast. I think we've had a really good sort of insight into, you know, what makes you tick, makes you resilient, makes you keep on building yourself. So yeah, I mean, from all of us, massive thanks to you for coming on and sharing your insights with us. And yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure.
Is there anything you wanna plug quickly before, just in case anyone's watching this?
I'm good, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm sure they know who you are, whoever's watching this anyway. So.
That's
I don't think there's any danger of people not knowing who Rants is. Guys, thanks very much for tuning in today for the second episode. Make sure you keep elevating. We'll see you next time.